Let's hack the brain to find more gratitude. Because if you know anything about gratitude and abundance, they actually run on the same frequency. Meaning that when we feel grateful for what we have already, that is saying, I am surrounded by so much abundance right now in this moment. How could I want anything more? But of course, if more comes in, then it's like, oh my gosh, thank you for this, thank you for that. I'm a neurodivergent and I have ADHD. And so a part of my brain has convinced me for most of my life that I am not supported, that I'm always missing something. And so I've always felt this lack of support. So that's a big part of this little hack that we're going to do, is having more support while having more abundance. And that's the other side of it too, is that when I used to just wake up and be like, thank you for my breath. Thank you for my life. For some reason, and I don't know if you're the same way, let me know in the comments, but for some reason, it just wouldn't click with me. And I don't know if it's my brain, but if you're neurodivergent and you're struggling with feeling unsupported, feeling like you're not feeling that gratitude, even though you're saying your thankfuls and your gratitudes every day, this one hack is going to help so much with this. And I call this my Disney princess brain hack. And this is what you're going to do. Instead of saying thank you for this and thank you for that, if that doesn't work for you, I want you to try this method. And what you're going to do as you wake up in the morning, you're going to greet everything that is in your existence. So you're laying in your bed in the morning and you're going to say, good morning, pillow. Good morning, house. Good morning, room. And you go out to your car. Good morning, car. Good morning, sunshine. And if you've ever watched a Disney movie, that's one thing. I'm thinking about Snow White right now. And Belle is, good morning to everything. Good morning to the animals. Good morning to the sky. And there's joy and happiness in that. So on one side of it, it helps you have more gratitude as you're seeing all these wonderful things to say good morning to. And the second part of it, and why it helps you feel so supported, is you start to see all these wonderful things to say good morning to. The sun, it warms you, it supports you in that. It gives you light, right? Your bed, good morning, bed. Thank you for holding me all night long. Thank you, pillow. Thank you to my brush. Thank you to the water in my shower. And this method is so simple, but it starts to, especially if you have a neurodivergent brain, sometimes we need to go at this from a little bit of a different angle, a more fun and playful angle. I tend to find that we're working with my clients as a mindset coach that we got to bring a little bit more fun and play into it. And this is one way to do it, is the Disney princess method. So try this out. Let me know how this works for you. And it helps open you up to so much abundance. So I'll use a little story here, is that my car has had its check engine light on for a little bit. I know exactly what work it needs to be done on it. And I keep telling myself, like, I need to just get into the shop. I need to just get into the shop. So there's a little bit of procrastination with that as well, which I already know. But there's always been a little bit of a worry. It was like, is my car going to start today? Is it, am I going to be able to get my kids to school? Am I going to be able to get to the grocery store? Is my car not going to work? And so I started doing this method even with my car, like, good morning, car. And I have a white car, so I call her Betty after Betty White. So I say, good morning, Betty. Good morning to my seat. Good morning to my steering wheel. And it's funny because when we have this gratitude, it runs in the frequency of abundance, play, flow, things just working out for you, always in your favor. And I have this backup camera on my car, and this backup camera has not worked forever. Every once in a while it will work. And I like it because then I don't have to turn around and see what's behind me, or make if there's a little kid behind me or anything like that, just more safety, right? And it's funny, but since I started doing this greeting to my car, good morning, how are you today? My car's backup camera has worked. It worked for several days in a row, and it's still working. Where after almost a year of it not working, and they would work for a couple days and then go off, or maybe work one time, I should say. It wasn't even a couple days. It's funny because it has worked every single time I back up my car. I started putting love and gratitude and thank you for so much for supporting me, and we'll take you into the doctor. We'll get you fixed up, and we'll go get that taken care of. But it's funny that we can miss so much in our life because our brain is looking for information for it not to work, or not to be grateful, or that I'm so unsupported. And I sat there for so many years, you guys, where I kept telling myself, I don't have family, I don't have friends, I don't have this, I don't have that. And what did I train my brain to look for was more lack, more ways that I wasn't supported, more ways that I wasn't having fun, more things to be ungrateful for. So there's a part of our brain called the reticular activating system. And now this is the science part behind it, because I know if you're neurodivergent, we want to know what the bottoms up stuff is. We want all the information to understand, why does this actually work? Okay. So we're not just throwing things out there. It's not just woo woo. And I do love the woo woo, but let's get into the science part of it. Is that we have a part of our brain, it's called the reticular activating system. And this part of our brain is constantly scanning your environment for the evidence to support what you want it to look for. Okay, and what we want to look for is based off identity. So if I wake up and I tell myself, I'm not supported, I'm just that type of person that's not supported, I'm just this type of person that's not grateful, I'm just this type of person that's always looking for the dark and the deep and the shadow work, well, that's what I'm going to find more of. So your identity is like the parent. Your reticular activating system is like the people-pleasing child that is like, okay, game on. You tell me to look for abundance, I'm going to go look for it. You told me to go look for support, I'm going to go show it to you. So you have 8 billion bits of information that are right in front of you at all times. And your brain can only perceive 100 bits of information. So what information are you telling it to look for? Because if it's looking for 100 bits of information about lack and scarcity, it's going to go find that. It doesn't mean that the gratitude and the abundance and the support isn't there. It's just your brain hasn't been trained to look for it. So through this Disney princess method of just saying good morning, not only are you training your reticular activating system to look for that support, to look for that abundance, you're going to start to feel that way. And it just wants to do more. It wants to look for it more. So try this hack out. You got the science behind it. Let me know in the comments how this works for you. I would love to hear your success stories. Love you.